Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live. Hello, welcome back to the Can't Blue podcast. A big sigh there just before we came on air. I think we're live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter today, so if you're watching on Twitter, do let us know. Something new for us. My name is Dan Rowenson. I'm joined by Matt Kendrick. What can you say about that? I'm laughing, but it's not funny, is it? Defeating Newcastle for Aston Villa, 1-0. Really, really poor, that, wasn't it?
Just a big sack of cack, wasn't it? To be honest, I can't think of a better way to describe it. It was by far and away the worst performance that we've had under Gerrard so far. We wanted a 90-minute performance, didn't we? Where Villa played the same throughout the 90, and we finally got one. It was just dreadful. And I know, we will do, and there'll be plenty of moaning about VAR, but I think we've probably got what we deserve today.
I did a tweet. I did a tweet on the brand account AVFC News. If you want to go and follow that, that'd be lovely, and it would help my targets from a work perspective out as well. So go and follow that, please. I did a tweet that I prepared after one of the times we got done over by VAR, and I kind of photoshopped "we'll just guess" on the big screen rather than just working out a decision or whatever. I tweeted that after, and somebody said, VAR won't excuse how bad Villa have been, effectively, is what they were saying, which, yeah, fair enough. If that goal is allowed and it changes things at 1-1, maybe we go on to kind of up our levels a bit and still 20, 25 minutes to go, whatever it was. But yeah, that doesn't excuse how bad we were for the 89 minutes around that goal and that VAR decision. Just rubbish. I don't know what's changed from literally 4 or 5 days ago against Leeds. Coutinho and Ramsey, I'm not going to dig people out, but Coutinho and Ramsey are absolutely unplayable on Wednesday, and then we only get a draw, which again is another conversation. But they were unplayable Wednesday, and today you kind of think, are they even playing? I haven't heard the commentator say Ramsey or Coutinho for about 15 minutes. They're just not involved, and I don't know how you go from one extreme to the other there.
I think you say that across the team, though. I'm sure I'll be interested to see what Ash has made of it, Ashley Priest and his player ratings, because I know you got loads of flack the other day. I thought Tyrone Mings was possibly one who did okay. I think throughout the rest of the team, there's some really poor performances. McGinn's gone off the boil massively. Like you say, Coutinho, from being the main man, the magician in midweek, was a passenger today. Chambers is at fault for the opening goal. Martinez is possibly at fault a little bit for the opening goal, then gone walkabouts in the second half. Some of the deliveries, Austin McPhee will have to come on and start taking some of those set pieces himself if he wants to keep the job, because some of the set piece deliveries are appalling, really.
Well, weirdly, I was sat watching it up here this afternoon, so I watched it up here, so I got all my desk and everything. I actually wrote down notes as we went along, because I thought, I haven't done a podcast for a while. I didn't do the Leeds one, and then obviously a big gap. So I thought, got to be on my game here. I've got to keep my place in the podcast team, so I'll make some notes. The first thing I put, set piece delivery, Douglas Luiz took the first 2. Why? Why is Douglas Luiz our free kick taker and corner taker? You've got Coutinho on there, Dina, even Ramsey to a certain extent, I feel like, has got better technical ability. Why is Douglas Luiz just floating corners in the first couple of minutes?
I'm not sure, but I don't know what the route to goal was today. There clearly wasn't one. I know we had the one goal disallowed, but I don't know what we were trying to do to try to hurt Newcastle, to be honest. Gary Neville's given Dan Burn the man of the match award on the Sky coverage, and Newcastle did defend well, but it was hardly the most taxing or testing of debuts for him, was it? Really, it didn't really force the issue at all, which is really disappointing, because I know Newcastle are on the back of a little bit of good form, but they're still, or they were until today, still right in it. You can quieten that crowd. Why have we not won there for 17 years? They've been relegated twice in that time. They're in a relegation battle this season, and we've not won there. We've not looked like winning there. It's and that team today, with the exception of St. Maximin, is there anybody in that team who should really, really frighten us?
Yeah, I think Pat did a tweet in the week that St. Maximin is the one to watch of the opposition, which is the easy one. Trippier as well, obviously a good player, scored in the last game as well, that free kick. But he goes off on the 47th minute, and you think, right, okay, well, that's one of their big threats gone. We've got to get at their fullbacks now. On the other side, Manquillo's struggling with injury, and Paul Dummett comes on. And then you look at Dummett, Shaw, Byrne, and whoever the right back was. I just forgot who literally just came on for Trippier. Who was it who came on right back? Kraft. You look at that back four, and you think, oh, you've got to get it there. I mean, you've got a whole half to get this sort of makeshift back four now, and it's one shot on target all game. I know you're going to get overreactions, aren't you? There's people in the comments saying things like, that's however many, the record of what Gerrard's got now, and that, are we any better than we were under Smith and stuff like that? And I don't want to be too overreactionary with things like that, but you do look at games like today and think, well, what is Villa's game plan? What are they trying to do? If it's a narrow kind of 4-3-3 with two number 10s, if Coutinho and Buendia as well don't really get involved in the game, what's plan B? What do we do if they can't get on the ball?
I have to ask the manager, mate, because we didn't see much evidence of it today. I mean, I think before we start getting stuck into systems and is Gerrard playing the wrong shape and etc., which probably tends to be more Pat Rowe's domain than mine, anyway. But there's just too many players who aren't performing, regardless of how you line them up. And that's a silly thing to say, but there's just Watkins. I'm really gutted, because I wanted to get something out of that game today, that goal that was disallowed. But I was hoping that might be the spark that kick-started Ollie Watkins, because he looks a kind of pale imitation of what he did. I think I tweeted, make the change early, and because he's devoid of confidence, get Danny Ings on, and then lo and behold, Watkins sticks the ball in the net, 2 minutes later. But yeah, he didn't. We've got too many players who aren't justifying their place in the team consistently at the moment, and it's disappointing, because the honeymoon period is well and truly over now. And don't tempt fate. I don't see us getting dragged into a relegation battle, because I think we will pick up enough points between now and the end of the season. But equally, we want to go into that summer with real momentum. Sign Coutinho on loan. That was supposed to be a statement that we could bring much better players and really upgrade with the quality of signings that we make in the summer. But we need to do that. We just need to have that forward momentum. And it's really disappointing. I think I said on the post Leeds podcast that I can't see many occasions where Villa won't score a goal this season because of the attacking quality that we've got, and it's the kiss of death. I couldn't really see an occasion where we would score a goal today. But like you said, I don't think we need to have kind of knee-jerk reactions, because social media and other podcasts will do that for us. But it is really, really grim at the moment.
Yeah, I've mentioned relegation. People in the comments on here and on social media are saying, are we about to be dragged into a relegation battle? And I kind of looked at that and thought, no, don't be stupid. And I checked the league table, and we're 10 points clear. So then you kind of think, nah, don't be stupid. We still won't get sucked in that badly. But there's a certain point in time when you're looking and thinking, we're miles ahead of Newcastle, and now we're only we're six ahead of them. So it's not impossible to get sucked in there. And someone always does, don't they? They're kind of nowhere near it, and then they kind of start tumbling down the table, and you think, they might be the ones to get pulled into this. But I still don't think that will happen. You probably only need another 6 or 7 points to stay up. So no way we'll be relegated is my opinion. But I'll respect people that think that we might be in a bit of trouble. But yeah, I'm just looking down at this piece of paper that I've written on. Composure in capitals is what I wrote down. That's what we're lacking, I think. Just a bit of composure, a bit of know-how, a bit of leadership, maybe. That you kind of look around that pitch and think, apart from Tyrone Mings as captain, what other sense of leadership is there in that team? The midfield, are they offering enough? Watkins up front is isolated, and he's probably doing what the job that he should be doing in terms of, we kind of said all along, haven't we? Watkins will drag players out of position, and his work rate will be good, but I'm not even sure he's doing that at the moment. So just very, very disappointing. And, we're definitely not going to get in Europe. I don't think we're going to go down. I'd say we're definitely not going to go down, to be honest. So what are we playing for? And it's building for next season, isn't it? It's pride. It's stuff like that. And there's no pride in that side today. And I feel sorry for all the Villa fans that have travelled up to Newcastle for the weekend and had to sit through that, to be honest.
It's a long way to go in it to lose every single time, or to fail to win every single time you go there. I think on about composure, we don't seem to be able to exert control over a game. That I'm not sure we've got, like you said, whether it's leadership or whether it's just kind of bravery on the ball, or whether it's just basic kind of ball retention. We don't seem to be able to take the sting out of moments when the opposition, are rallying and going forward. We don't seem to be able to absorb that. And equally, we don't seem to be able to make the most of it when we've got the momentum. We don't seem to be able to turn that into... I mean, listen, I'm probably making judgments based on what I've seen this afternoon rather than over the last 4 or 5 weeks. But it points to the same thing with me. And, it's probably a popular narrative amongst Villa fans at the moment about getting that kind of defensive midfielder in there who can pull the strings, I suppose, and can set the tempo of games. Douglas Luiz isn't that. I don't think, I don't want to join the kind of the bandwagon of digging into him for the sake of it, but he's not the kind of, not the player that we need that can really influence the game from that position and give us that element of control. Like I said, McGinn has was really, really disappointing today. Whether it's fitness, fatigue, whether it's the fact that he's been asked to play too deep in an unfamiliar role, I'm not sure. But really, really disappointing.
Yeah, there's a few times as well, Mings or Chambers getting the ball in defence and then just booting up to Watkins, and it's always going to come straight back from Newcastle, kind of bypass the midfield every time. Again, no one comes deep to get the ball and want to get on it and play and bring us forward. Jacob Ramsey has been the one in recent weeks who will carry the ball forward and really push us up as a team. But again, he's not there doing it today. Coutinho, Buendia not really involved. McGinn and Luiz struggled as well. Watkins, that's the entire front six there that you kind of sit here and go, well, yeah, they've done nothing, which is that's going to happen, isn't it, when you've lost 1-0? They've done absolutely nothing. So it's really frustrating. God, I suppose we've got to go through different bits of the game just to say that we've covered them off. Penalty, or the penalty that wasn't the penalty, but then they scored the free kick anyway, which again, my notes there were Chambers gives away penalty, definite foul, clumsy, in quotes, which is what Gary Neville called it, which I thought, yeah, fair enough, clumsy. And put outside the box, question mark. VAR says free kick, scored anyway, lol. That's what I wrote down. Because I just thought it's typical. As soon as it was Trippier stepping up, I thought, well, he'll score this anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the conversation me and my lad had while they were debating whether it was in or out. It doesn't really matter because
they score anyway. Yeah.
It was a shambles, though, wasn't it? The way it was defended, the way the free kick was defended. I thought Newcastle did it quite well, the way they tried to disrupt the wall. But when you listen to Mika Richards at halftime and taking defensive advice from him, given his time in Claret and Blue, but I think he's right. I think if that wall does stand another, body's width to the left, then you give Trippier less of the goal to aim for. We know he's got the quality to stick it in another gap anyway, but it just seems such a kind of flaky goal.
Deflection as well.
Yeah, it was. But what did Souness describe? He said Buendia was as much use as a glass eye in that situation.
I don't know. I didn't see half time. I didn't catch half time.
It's kind of, if Buendia's taking up that position, what's he doing exactly? Is he better to be sticking another man on the end of the wall?
If he wasn't there, it's not deflected. I think Martinez probably saves it because it looks like it's pretty much going straight at him. But it's ifs, buts and maybes, isn't it? I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I suppose the other side of the conversation, and like we said, we've absolutely done it to death, the VAR discussion. You and me have done it, Ash has done it, James, whoever's been on the podcast has spoken about it. It's just shambles, isn't it, the way that the VAR deals with it. Ultimately, I think it's the right decision in the end. Actually, I'm not talking about the right thing here. Did VAR get involved with that as well? They did, didn't they?
What, for the penalty?
Yeah. They ruled penalty or not, didn't they? So in that instance, you say, yeah, that's fair enough. It was. I mean, I thought in real time it was on the line, and on the line is in, isn't it? I think. But yeah, they took the time over that. I think they get the right decision that it's outside the box. So you kind of move on from that, and you think VAR, you've had your time here, leave us alone for the rest of the game. And it pops up again. I'm getting mixed up with my notes. That's why, because I'm looking at them. And for the goal, is the way they've handled the goal ruling out VAR. Now, when I tweeted about this, there's a few replies saying, get over it, he was offside. Was he offside? Was he really offside? When we see these lines being drawn, and people, I saw a few tweets. I'm nicking kind of other people's points here, but you've got a 3D image here where you're drawing 2D lines onto it. You're zooming in on this frame that's blurry, and where is actually the ball? Is the ball on this line? It kind of looks just like they've gone red line, blue line, and just smack them next to each other, and they talk, oh, it's thicker lines this season and this kind of stuff. It's like, what are we doing here with VAR? Like, what is the aim with it? If it's to rule out clear and obvious stuff, and you see things back and go, yeah, it's obviously wrong, that's fine. What I don't understand, and I'm going off on a tangent here because it didn't matter, but there was a time when we had a ball go out for a corner and it should have been a goal kick, or vice versa. It should have been a goal kick and we got a corner off it, and the Sky replays show it and it's wrong. VAR will have seen it's wrong, but they can't interfere with that and go to the ref. Oh, sorry, ref, you've got that wrong. That should be a goal kick. Because you kind of go, well, that's fair enough. That's a wrong decision, but they can't get involved with that. But then a goal where no one is even questioning offside, they can watch it over and over and over again, and then suddenly work out, oh yeah, he is offside. What it should be is they put VAR up, play it through real time, and then you watch it and go, oh yeah, he's miles off. Okay, offside. If they've even got to get the lines out in the first place, I don't think it should be that kind of picky.
Yeah. Listen, if you want football to be completely robotic, why not do away with the refs as well? Why not have kind of AI refs and stuff? I don't know whether they have enough kind of scrap metal to make a John Moss or whatever. But it's if there's no discretion allowed anymore, clear or not, we might as well just copy and paste what we said previously, because clear and obvious is the one, isn't it? It's clear, if you have to pour over something for any longer than 30 seconds, it's not clear and obvious. I think that's what frustrates the hell out of all football fans. If you go on social media, there's all kind of conspiracies about, it's whatever, that the game's corrupt and all this kind of stuff. I'm not sure that's the case. I think over the course of time, and we know that in times it has sometimes favoured the big clubs, but I don't think anybody benefits from it really in the long run, because every fan base, whether you're a kind of football traditionalist or whether you're a plastic fan or whatever you are, every fan base has the same issue, that they cannot celebrate a goal. You cannot celebrate a goal with complete kind of pandemonium and complete passion, because you've got to wait for somebody to give it the say so. That is depriving football of, in my mind, the single most purest form of joy that the game brings. Yeah. And that's happening everywhere. You're getting now, it's more, the Newcastle fans celebrating that goal being ruled out was a bigger thing than the Villa fans celebrating it in the first place. You're thinking, is football eating itself in this way? And the lines, the thicker lines, what does that mean? Does it mean that somebody at Stockley Park has gone down the local partner's stationery shop and bought a thicker black marker or what?
Thicker ruler.
It's just nonsense, to be honest. But listen, I want to make it clear, I don't think that was the main reason that Villa lost that game.
Yeah, 100% agreed. We
were just simply kind of sour grapes crying over it.
In the isolation of that moment, you look at it and go, "Oh, why are we ruling goals out like that?" Like, if they watch it back and he's miles, like, when you see him sometimes and you just would think, "Oh, I don't even know why they've shown this. He's miles offside." That's what VAR is for. Clearing up the stinkers that the referees will still naturally have, because, as we've said a million times, the referees are poor throughout English football at every level. There's a comment here saying if the camera's not even square with the players, how do you know if the line is right anyway? Which is, exactly that. It's just such a, I don't know what the word is, but it's so kind of mathematical, I guess, that we've got these things. I know, like, the goal line technology is a totally different thing. If the ball is over the line, we can see right up to the millimetre. I understand that and I can get on board with that. But the offside stuff, I should watch it back in real time. If he's obviously offside, they rule it out. If it's an obvious penalty or foul or whatever the decision is, you rule it out. When it's things like that and you've got to spend a couple of minutes over it, and Ollie Watkins is stood looking up at a big screen and panting his chest out, waiting to see whether he can celebrate or not. That's not football, is it? It's poor. And like I said, it's not an excuse for Villa losing the game, but it's certainly a sour taste in the mouth of what is a rubbish day.
Yeah. But like I said, it was, Villa were as bad as VAR is today.
Yeah.
You know, I know we touched upon it previously. I was just in a couple of comments in the comments at the side of the screen saying, you know, we've got Coutinho on the pitch and we've got the wrong Brazilian taking free kicks, to be honest. And it's things like that which, you know, maybe Douglas Luiz pings those in the top corner in training, but things that I find really, really frustrating. You know, we've got some specialists at certain things, so why aren't they the ones who are delivering in these moments?
Also, I've got a question of kind of the responsibility and the leadership amongst the other players. After Douglas Luiz I don't want to focus on Luiz too much, but after he takes that first corner where you think, what the hell was that? Why is it when he steps up for the second one that someone's not kind of running over there going, get off this one, you're not taking this one, I'll take this. And he took a free kick out afterwards as well, and you're kind of thinking, yeah, why is Coutinho not taking this? Why is Dean not taking it? It's those two, isn't it? One's the right foot, one's the left foot. Surely they cover every set piece opportunity there.
Douglas Luiz isn't taking those. He's not taking those because he's the playground school captain who has to take everything. He's clearly on message. He's clearly been told to take those.
Yeah, but why not change it when it's not working?
It's clearly part of the bigger plan.
Well, yeah, the plan doesn't work. I hate to break it to the Villa coaching staff, but the plan does not work. I suppose that we've got to answer the questions of you know what the improvement is, because that is still what the comments are saying. Are we any better off than we were under Smith? I was going to ask you a follow-up question then, but I don't know what it is. My kind of gut instinct tells me that we are better, and it's just that these kind of isolated bad days are still as bad, but it's still the same group of players, isn't it? That's why.
We'd lost 5 on the spin, hadn't we, underneath Smith? And again, somebody in the comments mentioned that the impact of throwing away that lead against Wolves spark.
Yeah.
You know, never really recovered from it. Now, God forbid, we won't go on a spiral of declining out like that again. I'm not sure. You know, I'm pretty confident that we won't. But are we better than we are under Smith? Smith had 3 years, didn't he? In the end, Steven Gerrard's had 3 months, probably a little bit over now. So I think it's too soon to judge that. You know, I suppose you've got to look at it. The impact that he's had, you know, we were raving the other day about Jacob Ramsey, so we know that he's had a positive impact on him. I think the issue that we've got is he hasn't got a centre forward that's firing at the moment. So how do we solve that? I'm a bit like you, Dan. I'm inclined to think that yes, we are a little bit better than under Smith. Certainly under Smith immediately in the season, in the 6 weeks before Gerrard arrived. But
I think the games that we've lost under Gerrard, we would have still lost under Smith. And I think sometimes the sound's gone, but I can still hear you. You can hear me, can't you?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I just turn your volume up. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I think the games that we've lost under Gerrard, we probably still would have lost them under Smith. And I think the games that we've won under Gerrard, we probably wouldn't have won under Smith. So that kind of weird working out in my brain is what tells me we're better under Gerrard. That Gerrard's instant impact of coming in and changing things did work. But with still those signs that, you know, I think there's always a clip from the podcast that we did, obviously this podcast that we did when we were before the first lockdown, where you describe Villa as having a soft underbelly like a puppy. And that kind of analogy always sticks in my head when we Villa have a poor performance. It's always our own fault. And I know it's probably good. Oh, no, that's not true, actually. I was about to say that probably every game that every team loses is that team's fault. But sometimes you just lose to the better team and you get outplayed, and that's the other team's kind of work that is your undoing. Villa's, when we lose games, it's our own fault. We do stupid things. We make silly individual mistakes, or we just look sloppy and totally off it, doing the basics wrong and things like that. I think that's what's frustrating. It's not that we've lost today to a brilliant Newcastle side who have got the crowd behind them and momentum of new signings and stuff. They weren't that good today, Newcastle, and we've still been able to not even, barely even get a shot on target. So that's what's concerning with me for Villa. That it's usually our fault of doing silly things. That's why we lose games, not that we're being outplayed.
What do you think the expectation was amongst the board at the start of this season when they did last summer's recruitment? Finished 11th last season, didn't we? Lost Jack Grealish. What do you think the aim would have been?
I think and I still believe this. I think finishing in the top half, so actually getting at least 10th and being in that, and they show the league table in two
Yeah,
parts, 1 to 10 and 10 to 20.
yeah.
You want to be in that first slide. You want to be in 1 to 10 somewhere.
So
Even
do
with
you?
losing Grealish, I still think 10th would have been seen as well done. You've lost a big name there. We've given you 3 or 4 new players. I still think 10th would have been seen as improvement.
So do you think the signing of Coutinho, Luca Dean, and the Gerrard factor has changed those expectations of the board midway through the season?
I mean, part of me thinks that those signings are a big deal. So, as if to say, here we're giving you more ammunition here. Go on and get towards European football. Whether that's a realistic target, I'm not quite sure. It does feel a little bit like we want to do better than mid-table now. Here's a big name. Here's Philippe Coutinho.
But do you think the point I'm making? Do you think we are now? I'm not trying to excuse crap performances like today, because we were crap pretty much across the pitch, and I think we were really naive in the week against Leeds as well to let that lead slip. But do you think there's a danger of us, the Gerrard factor, the Coutinho factor, danger of us judging what is still effectively, for all intents and purposes, a mid-table squad against European ambitions? Do you think we're in danger of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves?
Well,
people are saying
January. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, because people were saying in the week, Tyrone Mings isn't good enough. If we want to be here, we want to be there. That's fine. But at the moment, we are here. We're a mid-table team. So I can understand what people are saying. These players aren't good enough if we want to be in the top 6. We've got the summer to address that. Really, do we have to have a little bit of a reality check about where we are at this exact minute?
I think even with bringing in Gerrard, Coutinho, we mentioned Gerrard there as if he's still playing, bringing in a challenger manager, Coutinho, Dean, Chambers, whoever else, I still think the target is mid-table would be good. I don't think they've gone, right, well, here's Coutinho, you've got to finish 6th now. I think that would be foolish from the board to expect that from a new manager. I don't think they are. I think they're wiser than that. So if we finish 11th, 12th, I still think, well, what's wrong with that? What do we expect? I think it's the fans that would be looking at that thinking, we should have got 8th this season. But what does that get you? If it doesn't get you European football, what does it matter anyway? Oh, yes, it's a sign of improvement, but barely.
I think my big thing is when people are saying this player isn't good enough, and this player isn't good enough, and this player isn't good enough. And I agree that over the summer, the players who aren't good enough, we've got a bright, ambitious young manager. We've got a board who really, really want to back this club to go forward. So over the summer, I think we can upgrade, and we should upgrade, and we will upgrade in those positions. But to me, it's not necessarily a question of players not being good enough at the moment. It's good players not performing to their potential.
Yeah.
Because I think Ollie Watkins is a striker who can get 20 goals in the season in the Premier League. And as a Villa fan who hasn't seen that very often over the last kind of 20, 30 years, that's quite a tribute to pay somebody. He's not playing like one at the moment. He's not playing anything like one. But I don't think that means that he's not one and not capable of being one. Do you know what I mean? I think it's those kind of things that, yes, there's several players in that first team, probably as many as 5 of them who are regular starters, who will probably need upgrading if we want to kick on and be regularly competing for European football. But at this minute, between now and the end of the season, I think we've got lots of players who can still perform to a much greater level, and then give Gerrard a real difficult headache in the summer. But having said all that, today was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, well, we've seen signs that they're willing to upgrade with the kind of ruthlessness, I guess, of what they do with Matt Targett. That Matt Targett is the first team left back, player of the season last season. Had effectively what is a dip in form this season. I still don't think Matt Targett is a bad footballer. He's still a Premier League standard footballer. But again, for that bottom half, I don't think Matt Targett is a top 6 left back, and he's at Newcastle, so clearly not. And they've gone, Luca Dean is available. He's worth this much. Go to Everton, pay it, upgrade it, done. Ruthless. Get rid of Matt Targett, send him out on loan, sorted. So I think Villa are willing to do that and will do that as the time goes by. I think there's a bit of impatience amongst the fan base, perhaps, about, this season should have been the one that we push on, but losing Grealish and then starting in new players and the challenging manager, European football would get ripped to shreds anyway. I think even amongst that level of Europa Conference League or whatever the lowest European football bracket is these days, we're just not ready for that. The squad isn't ready for that, and we're struggling in the Premier League at the moment. So anything more than that it's just not even worth thinking about, I don't think. But on paper, like you said, that squad should be capable of top 8, I think, as it is now, without any improvements. If they're all on form and low injuries and stuff like that, we're talking about people like Leon Bailey on the bench who, we've not seen anything from him. Sanson, Ings, they could be starters for a top 10 Premier League side. So the squad, I think, is getting there, but it's just something isn't quite right yet with it, and I don't know what that is yet. Well, it's not great for a podcast to sit here and just go, I don't know, but it is.
It's not necessarily our job to know. But if you look at when Gerrard came in, his first 5 or 6 games, we were on a mad losing run under Dean Smith. Beat Brighton, beat Palace, pushed Man City very close, beat Leicester, did okay at Liverpool, then won at Norwich, and everything in the garden looked rosy. Mm-hmm. So we are on a pretty poor run of form since then. I've had 1 win, that win at Everton, and several defeats, today of which was the worst of them. But those are the same players, plus Coutinho, plus Chambers, plus Luca Dean, to the ones that Gerrard was able to get, to really kind of spark a revival from. So I'd back him to do the same again. To be honest, somehow we've got to get to the root of what's the issue with those players that are underperforming. Why has McGinn gone off the ball? Why does Ollie Watkins look like a kind of low budget Ollie Watkins? That's the name just 2. Why is Douglas Luiz not able to bring that kind of element of control into the middle of the park? So I don't want to. We can't do anything about it until the summer. We can't do anything about it. That was our window to try and address some of these things. And people should say, well, we should have got a defensive midfielder in and we should have signed another centre half. We haven't. So we've just got to try and find a way, or the manager, more importantly, the manager's got to try and find a way to coax that level of performance that he first brought in. Now, to me, when he first came in, and it was that short, sharp shock, it was that he wouldn't tolerate for sloppy standards, and I still don't think that is the case. I think he talks about creating an elite environment and having elite performances. Now, that's one thing saying it, but Villa being able to sustain a good performance over 90 minutes ultimately rests on him. So he's got a real opportunity to stamp his mark over the next 2 months. It's up for. It sounds silly, but he's proving himself in the Premier League as much as those players are proving themselves to him. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, what have we got next, Dan?
It's Watford and Brighton next. So I did a little graphic for the month of February, and we've obviously had Leeds, Newcastle, Brighton, and Watford. And I said, I want 9 points from that, which is it's impossible now, isn't it? The maximum we can get is 7 for the month. But 1 point from Leeds and Newcastle is poor. So you've really got to go and get something out of Watford and Brighton now. And I think we can beat Watford, and I think we can beat both. Brighton are probably is the more difficult game out of those two. But if we are coming out of February after those 2 games and we've got maybe 4 points from those 12, and we're all kind of looking at that going, oh yeah, 9 points there, 10 points. That's not great, is it?
I'm just reading this. The comments, Royston Birkin. Mings is getting worse by the game. Just because he didn't make a mistake, it does not mean he had a decent game. Surely that's the very definition of having a decent game if he didn't make a mistake. I'm sure he did make a mistake, to be honest, during the course of the game. But it's a strange day to dig out Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, I thought Mings was all right. There's nothing really from today where you can look at and go, that was a good performance from anybody, really. You just got to. I'd be interested to see what Gerrard says afterwards. He's been pretty good in all of his post-match interviews so far, and I've always thought, he said the right thing there. I assume he's spoken to Sky by this point, half an hour after full time. But that shot of him kind of stumped into his seat, he didn't look happy, did he? Let's just put it that way, and rightly so. It's now what reaction he can get out of the players, because I'd like to have thought we'd have come out of half time like really storming it, and we were better in the second half, but still not like we should have been. So it's interesting now to see what Gerrard will get out of him in the next. Is it a full week before the next game? Is it next Saturday? I think. Watford at home, is it?
Park, isn't it?
It's got a week now to work on it and iron things out a little bit and really get into them. And you expect a reaction after a week off and another team that's struggling at home. I mean, what I said today is Newcastle a must win on Twitter earlier. And so, in terms of league position, there's no such thing as a must win. Like I said, we're not going into Europe and we're not going down, but just to avoid this, basically, this whole kind of meltdown that comes afterwards, I felt like it was a must win that you've got to go and beat a side like Newcastle and shut them up a little bit as well. So, Watford at home is certainly a must win in my eyes.
Yeah, it depends what you mean by must win. Must win because we just need some positive momentum.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, just avoiding the negativity. I don't mean it from a league table point of view. You can't go after those 2 games. You can't then go and lose to Watford at home. That's ridiculous.
I've run out of steam, mate, to be honest.
I suppose you're not coming up to me with any like stupid analogies or anything silly to go at.
I was going to try and create a distraction by asking what. I was going to try and get some advice, not for me because I'm a romantic anyway. But what last minute gifts can you buy your beloved from a kind of petrol station when everything's shut on a Sunday? Asking for a friend, do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you're asking that question after 4 o'clock on a Sunday when Valentine's Day is the following day, you're already in trouble.
Do you think?
Yeah.
You get some de-icer or something like that to thaw the relationship or something like that.
Flowers is an easy win, isn't it? Flowers and chocolate. But even so, you're not going to have a great standard from a petrol station at this hour.
What have you got for your other half now? Because I know you just got engaged recently, so the romance should be very much alive, shouldn't it?
The engagement ring's still kind of floating over. I think it's only been a couple of weeks, so it's just look at that.
Can you get away with that? Because I've only been married, 2005. I got married the year that Villa beat... my wife, I'll marry you this year and I'll buy you a Valentine's Day gift the time that Villa win at St James's again.
I'll just say, if you question, I'll just say, look at the ring on your finger. That's still good for now. No, we don't do Valentine's Day, so I'll just get a card or something. I haven't even got that though. So Holly says, Matt, take it from me, clean the bathroom and give her a lie-in. Well, what I would say to that is, Holly, is that you shouldn't just be cleaning the bathroom on Valentine's Day. That's the kind of thing you should be doing all year round. So
we should say that because we're having a bathroom done at the moment. My wife's upstairs painting the bathroom ceiling.
And you're doing this.
Yeah, which I think I wish I'd have painted the bathroom ceiling today, to be honest, rather than watch the match. But
you probably maybe next time you do the painting and get Mrs. Kendrick to come on to the podcast and give her a bit of a chat about the Villa instead.
Yeah, she probably knows everything about chocolate concrete, mate. Get her on; she'll be fine.
You know what? I was actually going to come with an analogy for you, and I can't do it in your typical style because I know that you'll come on.
Let's just put smear chocolate concrete on her and call it a day. Thanks for that, Matty.
Yeah, I was going to come with you because I'm on a bit of a health kick at the moment. Obviously, like you just mentioned, got engaged, got a wedding to plan for, definitely got to slim down a little bit for that. So I've got a couple of kind of healthier snacks in the house, and I was having some pistachio nuts at half time. It's not the healthiest snack a nut. I know it's not great, but it's better than chocolate and stuff. And I was just thinking, sometimes you get them. Do you like pistachio nuts, by the way? Because if you don't and you've never eaten them, this is not going to work.
I don't mind them. All right. I know what they are.
Yeah. So, sometimes you get them. I've got them here in front of me. I don't know if I can find any that I can demonstrate this with. Some of them you find, and this is relating to Villa, we will get there in a second. Some that you get, and they're like already basically open. And like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to have to find some. Hold on a second.
Just finished this 5 minutes ago.
There we go, look, right. You see this one? It's already basically open. That's Villa at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Easy to break down, easy to get into, offers no defence. I'll get there in a second. Yeah, easy to get into. Rubbish, right? This is what you want Villa to be like. Here we go. You see this one? Barely any cracks there. Very difficult to get into. If I'm going to get that nut or the win, I've got to work hard for it. You know what I mean? I've got to hurt my fingers. I've got to know that I'm in a game to get this nut out. There we go. Got it. That was difficult, right? Whereas this one, you could open that with one hand. It's so easy. So that's my rubbish analogy. Villa are like a hard to open pistachio nut. That's what I want them to be in the future. At the moment, they're a flaky pistachio nut and easy to get into and easy to break down.
I think you're using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, mate, with that analogy. We've overstayed our welcome.
Yeah, very, very much so. Villa should be a tough nut to crack, is all I'm saying. Matt, we'll call it a day there. We said we wanted to do 20 minutes. We've done 40. We probably should have done 35, to be honest, to get rid of all that last bit of waffle. So thank you very much to everyone who stuck with us. Not many people dropped off either in the last couple of minutes. So that's good to see. Matt, thanks for your time as always. Get yourself to the petrol station for a last minute gift. Thanks to the comments for all your contributions as ever. And yeah, we'll be back next Saturday, I guess, for the Watford debrief. And it better be 3 points for Villa, otherwise I'm not doing it.
Exactly. That's when I'm going to get Mrs. Kendrick for Valentine's Day, 3 points against Watford. If not, if you lose, I'll be doing this from backseat of my car or something like that.
Let's get out of here. Thanks very much for watching the Claret and Blue podcast, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.